But first, right now, live at 11 o'clock, what a crowd showing up once again. The honor flight crowd, celebratory crowd never fails to disappoint. Here we go, never fails to impress. Once again, they are showing up big time live at the Louisville airport with honor flight Bluegrass. They've just landed, but the veterans are not off the jet yet. This is the homecoming scene that all love to see. The big crowds have been there since about 9:30 tonight. The flight's a little delayed tonight due to the weather between here in Washington, D.C. The honor flight is carrying 84 veterans from 3 different wars. They left early this morning for the one-day tour, just back tonight. It's been a long day. The oldest veteran on board today is 100 years old, and the youngest is 70. They're cheering to the camera there for our photojournalist, Emma Gefter, walking along. For the first time in the Bluegrass chapter's history, this entire trip was paid for by an anonymous donor. And ahead of the flight, we talked with veterans and their chaperones to find out how they feel about having a big send-off to the nation's capital. And today's flight included only one woman. Her name is Lieutenant Colonel Mary Clark. She joined the Air Force as a lieutenant in the 1960s. WHAS11's Brooke Ash and our chief photojournalist, Philip Merle, flew along with them. As you can see, it's turning out to be a great welcome home. They'll be getting off the flight here in just a little bit. Wall-to-wall folks, so good to see here at this late hour. And hello, everybody. Thank you very much for being with us tonight. I'm Doug Proffitt. So long gas money for parents. Goodbye to improving athletic venues. The surprise massive budget cuts voted through tonight by the Jefferson County School Board ushered in during one of Superintendent Marty Polio's last school board meetings. WHAS 11 night team's Alex Dederer and photojournalist Levi Hammer found that they are blaming the loss on federal money.
Honks and signs held by teachers outside the Van Hoos Education Center asking for pay raises. While inside, massive budget cuts were voted in for JCPS.
We were able to do the $100 million, I think, without significantly impacting schools, which was our main goal. But this next 50 is going to be a little more challenging, there's no doubt about it.
The budget lays out $12 million in cuts to the transportation stipends, the popular gas fund paid to parents.
How will this budget impact that issue of transportation?
It won't be decided until June whether the stipends are returning at all next school year.
But if we do bring them back, we'll have to find something else to cut. So already a reduction in that because we will be providing transportation to the students at Mayo, Manual, and the other magnet schools. So that's already reduced greatly.
That's not all. $1.6 million gone. Money earmarked to buy new buses. $1.5 million cut in the TARC transportation renegotiations. And $2 million also trimmed from the Louisville Urban League. Every board member voting yes to the cuts.
Wild economic conditions in this country that are unpredictable from day to day to day. We need to be seriously looking at our revenue streams going forward. I don't see how we avoid next year without a tax increase on the ballot.
The biggest reason for $150 million in reductions is loss of federal money.
Coming out of the COVID funding is what really led to this. You had access to a lot of funds, federal funds, that you could do a whole lot of support that we just can't do anymore.
Cuts felt by students like Jorge Blas Bautista, a senior at Butler, one of the schools that had its turf constructions delayed.
They run on tracks riddled with cracks, risking injuries every time they've practiced. One team has to practice and play at a local park, not because it is ideal, but because it is the only option.
The delay reduced the budget by $8.5 million.
Keeping with this budget and the plan for next year, keeps this district on solid footing.
The protesting teachers also left wondering about their raises. In Louisville, Alex Dederer, the WHAS 11 night team on your side.
By the way, the big JCPS district has had a total annual budget of $2 billion. Next week, JCPS will be hosting the 2 finalists to replace Marty Polio. They are set for public meetings starting next Tuesday. Also new tonight, another major vote, cell phones banned in JCPS schools. The school board going for a much more restrictive policy than first thought, banning the use of phones at school all day long, including lunch and in the hallways during class transitions. All school board members voted in favor of the ban tonight, except longtime member Linda Duncan. The bill does have exemptions for emergencies and medical needs. The policy would go into effect at the beginning of next school year. Earlier this year, Kentucky lawmakers passed House Bill 208, banning the use of cell phones in school, leaving it up to the school districts to figure out their own plan and how to do it. We've had rain across the area today, coming down, hit and miss. Let's check in with our chief meteorologist, Mallory Schnell. And that radar is still active, but any of that coming our way tonight, Mallory?
Hey there, Doug. The good news is we're finally starting to see this rain fizzle out. So you can tell the loop here, we did have some showers, especially south of Louisville. If you were on the east side of Jefferson County, you likely got a nice downpour this evening. The Max HG radar is starting to quiet down, and that should be the case throughout much of the overnight hours. But 24-hour estimated rainfall, you can see some pockets of the greens and yellows here where we did have an inch, maybe 2 inches estimated in some spots of Hardin County, Nelson County, up to around Shepherdsville, and also, as I mentioned, eastern Jefferson County around Middletown got a nice downpour, J-Town, Fern Creek as well. We're enjoying some of that rain-cooled air, but these temperatures really won't dip too much from where they are right now. So expect those overnight lows to remain in the low to mid 60s. An isolated shower not out of the question, but as I mentioned, most of us trending drier. Tomorrow also trending drier, partly sunny, spotty shower either early or late in the day. Otherwise, those temperatures starting to climb with highs in the lower 80s. So we are expecting those highs to return back above normal starting tomorrow. Even warmer weather is on the way for Thursday into Friday. It's going to be a warm and muggy into the week. We do have more storm chances around, some of which could be strong. I'll be talking much more about that coming up in our 7-day forecast.
Mallory, thank you. Another story brand new for you tonight. Traffic in downtown Louisville is set to change within the next 5 years. According to city planners, it's not going to be much of a construction headache, they say, instead converting several one-way streets into 2 lanes. WHAS11 night team's Jose Alonso and photojournalist Emma Gefter spoke to the man driving the new model of our streets to come.
We're here tonight to present an early draft of the plan that we've put together to essentially make downtown Louisville walkable and safe.
The word is out. Traffic changes are coming to downtown Louisville throughout the next 5 years.
So we're recommending what we've done in a bunch of other cities, which is a simple restriping of downtown streets. Key to that effort is to do something which has had great success throughout the U.S., which is reverting your one-way system back to two-way traffic.
Jess Speck with the urban planning company Speck Dempsey presented their downtown and new Lou walkability plan at the Louisville Free Public Library. This map shows the multiple one-way streets currently in place. The other map depicts a complete change to 2-way lanes. Experts say it won't add to commute times and will be safer for pedestrians.
I think that it is going to be something positive that is about to take place.
Local businesswoman Aniko Mercy just opened up a new lip bar along 4th Street, an area that already has 2-way and heavy foot traffic. An example of what this company wants to advance across downtown.
It almost does the work for you in your business. It's more so probably like 70% walk-ins, 30% you know, whatever type of client base that you currently already have.
Another visitor who works downtown and alongside Metro government on current streetscapes was also curious about the future of traffic.
And one of the things we're doing is working with LUMED, which is the medical district downtown. This is part of the plan, and so very interested to see how this plan impacts the investments that are also being made throughout the LUMED community.
Market is currently being converted downtown to two-way travel, and Maine is planned by the state to be converted. So these changes have already been underway. We're just here, and the reason we were hired was to make a comprehensive plan that laid out all of the changes that we would like to see in the downtown.
Speck also says one-ways tend to encourage speeding and that converting to 2-way traffic will likely get drivers to slow down. In downtown Louisville, Jose Alonso, WHAS11 night team on your side.
Well, we hope on that slowdown at least. The planning company will hand this plan over to Louisville Metro government within the next couple of months. The 5-year completion goal will depend on how much funding will be given to finish this project. We are just weeks away now from the first trial in the Crystal Rogers murder case in Bardstown. This afternoon, a major development. The judge in the case ruling that no cameras will be allowed in the courtroom starting for the first trial. That's of Steve Lawson starting on May 27th. In the ruling, Judge Charles Sims writing, quote, "The trial proceeding must be conducted in a dignified manner without the distraction of anyone recording this proceeding," end quote. He adds the court also wants to avoid needing to sequester a jury. Judge Sims also stated that this is the first time he's banned cameras in the courtroom in 20 years. Indiana State Police have arrested a man in the murder case of Brittany Bowman, a Henryville, Indiana woman who was shot and killed back in 2022. 33-year-old Derek Pixley, right here, was Bowman's boyfriend. Bowman's mother, Shawnee Goodman, says she always thought Pixley was responsible for her daughter's death. After she was shot, she spent 89 days in the hospital before she died.
The information was there, and it wasn't being looked for hard enough. I didn't want another mother to feel like I have felt since October 2nd of 2022.
We had actually looked at some other people too and discounted them, and just there wasn't anybody else other than Derek Pixley.
Pixley's arraignment begins at 9:30 tomorrow morning in Clark County Circuit Court. Goodman says she'll be there. Louisville celebrity super chef Darnell Ferguson has accepted a plea deal in his criminal case. He was set to go on trial today, facing accusations of assaulting his wife. The former Food Network star will not face any jail time now. Ferguson pleaded to 1 count of criminal mischief and 1 count of harassment. Judge Susan Gibson sentenced him to a $250 fine and a conditional discharge, which means he cannot get in any kind of trouble for the next 2 years, or he could face 1 year in jail. The Fergusons also claimed that the St. Matthews police detectives twisted the original story from the very beginning.
This was deeper than me and her. This turned out to be them trying their best to get me and trying to paint a story, trying to put things together, have her do things like they were putting pieces together to make sure that they had a case against me once they found out it was me.
The St. Matthews Police Chief Barry Wilkerson sent a statement to WHAS11 News today saying, "Our officers acted professionally and with the seriousness the situation deserved. We did not embellish or manufacture any aspect of the investigation. All charges and findings were based solely on the facts and evidence presented to us." Now more on the stunning late news that came out today about baseball's hit king, the late Pete Rose. The Cincinnati native, who went by the name of Charlie Hustle, will now have a chance to enter baseball's coveted Hall of Fame. When Pete Rose died last September 30th, this was the scene in downtown Louisville at his Louisville Slugger Walk of Fame spot, 4th and Main. Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred today said he's removing several deceased players from the permanently ineligible list. Pete Rose was banned from baseball and later admitted that he did bet on baseball games, including Cincinnati, when he was still with the Reds, but he said he never bet against the team.
That is fantastic. That's great. I'm happy. As I said, I just wish it had happened 10 years ago, so he could have been here.
He should never be on the ban list, in my personal opinion, in the first place. But I mean, it had to happen sooner or later, so it's just super exciting, really.
Reds fans in the Queen City reacting today. The owner of the Cincinnati Reds also in a statement saying the club is especially happy for Rose's family and fans, saying they are thankful for the decision. President Donald Trump has also long pushed for Rose to be in the Hall of Fame and met with the baseball commissioner about it in April.